Hello guys, and welcome to another video with Cast on the Maizuma channel. Okay guys, so today I have something really awesome to present, and it's a multi-station thing. So yeah, there is this selection panel here, so we can select a destination. And the first thing that hopefully you guys will notice is how seamless this is. Of course you can see a few observer blocks down on the floor here, but they're not disturbing at all. And the stations are pretty clean. The redstone is really nice, and I believe that some of you guys will be impressed when I show the redstone behind everything around here. But first of all, of course, I will demonstrate how it works and some cool tricks that we can do with the system. So first, let's just select one station. Let's go to the first station. This is already selected, so we just have to click there and then hop on the minecart, and here we are. So now we can hit this button to get back, but we can also flip this lever if we want. And what this will do is it will lock the station so that whenever a minecart comes in here, it's going to return automatically. And the reason why this can be useful is if you want to do something like this. If you select, for example, station number 2 and you send the minecart away, you could have a minecart hopper going there, or maybe a minecart with a chest, and this guy could be collecting things. Like station 2 could be a farm, and whenever I want this minecart to get back to me, I can just click this again, and eventually, come on, yes, the minecart will return. So this is a optional feature that I included only on the second station. So yeah, of course I wouldn't destroy a minecart with a chest. I would have something somewhere else for the minecart to go, but this is just to show the things we can do with the system. So maybe let's head to a different station. So just select it and hop on the minecart and let's go. So yeah guys, you can have a single backbone rail and branch out of this, so you don't need a bunch of a ridiculous amount of rails that go to different destinations. You can just have one single rail that can branch out to many different places using this. And this is the other feature I wanted to talk about. This is a substation. So basically from here we can decide whether we want to go to one of those 3 stations, or we can select this and go to the black station, which is the first station we were back then before. So yeah, let me just demonstrate just a little cool thing that I added here with the dark blue station. So let's go there. So when you arrive, these doors are going to open automatically, so you can grab whatever you want from here or put something back in, and then you can hop in your minecart and the system will let you go back. So this is a possible flaw with the system. So it's not exactly designed for you to go back and forth, but you can, just showing you that you can go back and forth, but you will be stopping on every station on your way. So this is not really ideal. The ideal thing to do is to always move forward with this, but the destination selection works anyway. So maybe, yeah, let me just show you. We're going all the way back to the black station, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about with this system. And maybe now it's time for me to show you the redstone behind everything and explain how everything works, how information is transmitted around here without redstone, but using the rails themselves, because this is the railway propagation system where I transmit information using the rail lines. Alright guys, so I guess it's time for the redstone section of the video and some explanations. You can see the substation here, and I also fired the minecart launcher a few times so that you can see that this works with multiple minecarts as well. So at the back here you can see a few circuits and colors, so let me start explaining. So the green circuits you see around here are repeaters. The orange circuits are the station managers themselves, and they're all the same, which is pretty cool. And the yellow circuits, the little yellow circuits, are just the departure control. Oh, okay, that shouldn't be a problem. Let's maybe show something about the chunks. Okay, so maybe let's start with the panel selector thing. So let's start by selecting a station, like this first station here, so we can see that the rail changes whenever I click this. Well, not really. And if I click this again, the rail will not change. So I need to actually select another station in order for this thing to change again. Okay, so you can also see that when I select a station, the rails get unpowered, and then the signal is propagated forward, and this happens until we can find the actual station where we need to apply the changes, and it doesn't propagate more than it needs as well. So if I activate the first station here, the signal won't propagate to this rail section here. So if you guys look at this section here and compare it to the first one, you can see this effect now. So yeah, this first section got unpowered, then this station changed, and then nothing happened to the rest of the system, which is pretty cool with this new design. Alright, so about the departure system. Okay, those guys, the orange circuits, work as decoders, and this is the encoder. So when you click here, you can see that a observer block goes down, and what happens is we get a 1-tick pulse sent through this line. So yeah, this piston will grab this block and unpower the torch. So this is why you see that the rails unpower. And back here we have this little network, a repetitive pattern that basically adds more and more delay depending on which of those buttons you click. And after a certain delay we get a second 1-tick pulse, so this block returns to where it's supposed to be, and the rails will be powered again. Alright, about the stations, yeah, this orange circuit is just crazy. It does a lot of stuff, really a lot of stuff. So when the rails get any kind of change, the observer blocks will detect it and send it to this system here, which will do the following. We get a pulse length from whatever place, and the orange circuit will shorten this pulse by 1 tick and 1 redstone tick, and then propagate the signal forward. And the next station will do the same and the same and the same until the signal is too short. When the signal is too short, what happens is every time we get something, we get a pulse, this block will be pulled here, empowering the torch. And then when this detects a change again, the blocks gets back in place here. But if it happens too quick, because the pulse got too short, this thing will happen so fast that the torch is not going to be able to respond to it. And this is why when the right station is found in the network, it doesn't propagate the signal anymore. So this makes the entire system more efficient, because the signal basically searches for the station where it's supposed to act on, so that the signal doesn't get propagated anymore because it's not needed anymore. So yeah, pretty cool feature, and simplifies a lot of stuff. Basically what I had before was a bunch of pulse length decoders, and you would have to tune each of the systems individually. And with this system here, basically you just build the same thing wherever you want a station to be. You don't have any difference from any system to the other systems, unless you want to add features, which is something I will talk about later. Okay, when it's time to change, the thing that changes is the item in here. So when a long pulse comes in here, this thing will activate for a certain time, then the item gets back here. But if the pulse is too short, it will unpower this hopper and the item will be here. But since the torch won't respond to the pulse, the item will be trapped here. So this is why we have this important feature that when you click multiple times on a station, it changes the first time, but it won't change the second time. This rail will not change. Yeah, this is important because it keeps the system consistent, because the selector panel will display the last station that you picked. But if you would click on this again, the selector panel would still display the same, but if we had a flip-flop here, this would flip and it wouldn't be consistent anymore. So this was very problematic with the system, but I managed to solve the problem with this. So yeah, this is really a lot of functionality for a really small circuit here. Okay, about the departure, it's quite simple. This is actually locked, so anything that comes in here will automatically return. But if we press this button, it's not connected to anything. The thing doing the job is actually the detector rail, and it will basically force this rail to turn, and then the minecart returns. So let me just demonstrate here. Oh, I didn't select the right station, so okay. We can just show by placing a minecart here, and it will turn here. So about the calling feature. Okay, so yeah, now that the second station is not selected, you can see that this piston is not extended because this guy is not selected. But if we do select the station, so let's do it. Okay, the rail changed, and this piston is now extended. So next time this guy detects anything, the pulse here will get to this repeater, and this piston will place this block here, so that the signal will be connected to the departure station. So this is how we can call minecarts from a distance here. Of course, you were limited to the chunks that can get loaded from a distance with this feature, but it's just experimental, and I think it was just something cool to add. And other than that, this station is exactly the same as any other station. Here we have something a little bit different. So as you can see, most of the stations were built on this side, and that was just a preference, but I included this just in case you guys want a map download, because I wanted to show how you would make a station that goes to the other side, because rails behave differently on each direction. So yeah, this is how you would make the departure section of your station if it's facing on a side that's not supposed to be the way you want by default. Okay, so yeah, exact same thing. And if you want this torch, if you actually need this torch to be unpowered by default, depending on the orientation that you have, all you need to do is this. I will show you now, because we are about to get to the tutorial section. So break the redstone dust, place a block here, and redstone dust here. So now this is off by default, and this station won't be facing this way. So yeah, this is also pretty simple to adapt. And finally, we have a substation here. So the redstone is exactly the same as the main station. No changes really. It's just a repetitive pattern. It's just a little bit smaller. And yeah, the minecart pickup system is the same. Cactus breaks things here, and this minecart launcher is actually pretty cool. Let's just select the black station, so the minecart returns to wherever it needs to go. And you see how this works. We have an observer block here, so we click this and the minecart gets powered. But when the observer block returns, it powers those guys here, and another minecart is going to be waiting for you when you come back. Alright, so I think this is it for the demonstrations, and maybe I should do a tutorial now. So let's go! Okay guys, in this tutorial we are going to do 4 stations like this. As an example, and we're going to start with the basic stuff. So yeah, next to solid blocks where you want your minecarts to departure, you want to have a powered rail, and the places where you park your minecart can be really far from the main line where you branch out, but those things you have to be close enough. So a detector rail and a powered rail, so that we can control this guy here and decide where we want to go. Alright, so let's start by doing the first station here. And what we want to do is first of all, where is my piston? Okay, it's here. So place a sticky piston facing down and a comparator here. And down here we're gonna have a dropper, so you can break those blocks and you can fill up the dropper with minecarts, and then you will have a dispenser. You shouldn't have any minecarts inside your dispenser, so keep in mind this is a dropper and this is a dispenser. Next we want to have a hopper facing the dropper, and then you do it like so. It's a connection between this side, and right here we need a support block, sand and cactus to break the minecarts, and then you need this thing to go in this direction, and just place your rail here. So if it's not facing the right direction, you just need to break those, place another rail here, so now it's facing the correct direction that you want, and place those things back, and then a button on top. And you might want to add either string or a slab or something on top of this cactus so that it won't keep growing and spoil the aesthetics of your build. By the way, this was misplaced. If you want to make your station look a little bit better, just place this hopper down here, and now you can cover the floor like this. Okay, so the way it works is there will be a minecart here, and every time you do a departure, another minecart will appear here, and if you break the minecarts on the cactus, let me try to push this guy, and they will be automatically stored down here, so you'll never lose minecarts. Okay, now we're gonna build the selection panel, which is the red circuit. So just level it with the floor, and let's start. So the first thing you want to do is to place those guys here, and those observer blocks facing up. All the pistons I'm going to use here are sticky pistons, alright? And you can power those guys using bud power down here, and those observer blocks are going to be facing down, so they're going to touch those blocks here. And then you will need a redstone line on this side. On the opposite side, you're going to build a pattern. I will just extend this just so you guys can understand better the pattern, but of course we don't need this because we only have to build 3 stations. So the pattern goes like this. So every other block you place 1 repeater, and then here you will have redstone dust, then observer blocks facing up, then start placing solid blocks in front of the repeaters, and more repeaters here, and those repeaters should be all set on 4 ticks each. And now more solid blocks here and here, so redstone dust here to get the signal from the observer blocks. And if you want to extend it, you would have more repeaters here and down here. But other than that, you're just going to place repeaters on 4 ticks here. So all the repeaters going this direction are going to be on 4 ticks, and those down here are all going to be 1 tick. Okay, so finally from here we need the output repeater. That's going to be on 2 ticks, and it's also going to connect to another repeater on 2 ticks, and we're going to have a monostable here and another repeater here. If in doubt, you just have to count that they have a 2 tick difference each. So this guy is 1 tick here, plus 2 is 3, and this is 4 ticks. So the next one is going to be 1 plus 2, which is 3, plus 2, 5, plus 1, 6, so 4 and 6. So the next line is going to have a difference of 8, then 10, then 12, then 14, and so on. So yeah, you get the pattern from this. I can destroy those things here, and of course you have to extend both sides and place all the other buttons and all the corresponding components for this. So the signal is going to come out of here with this redstone line, and it's going to connect to a piston here. and this is what's going to control everything. So I actually need a redstone block now, and this redstone block should be here, and then redstone dust here, and a torch. So we already have our first section of rails powered here. And back here we still need to do the display section of the panel, so let's do that as well. So up here we need solid blocks, and then here we can have comparators and more pistons here, and more observer blocks facing up. This circuit is really weird, but it works. So on top of those guys we place furnaces, and you need items inside the furnaces, and specifically you need ferns to be inside the ferns inside the furnaces, okay? And those blocks also are all going to be solid blocks, so you want to leave those up in the air now. And finally you need a redstone line connecting all the blocks that you place on top here, so that it will select only one at once each time. So okay, now we have this line selected, and now we have this line selected, and the rails on the floor here should be blinking if we connect this signal up there. So let's just do that. I like to use a repeater here for mysterious reasons. So yeah, it's connected to a repeater here, and if we look at the floor now, it is encoding the signal and sending it through the rails. The next component we are going to build are the repeaters, and this is the easiest component of all. So you need to find a transition like this, where you have a powered end followed by an unpowered, and replace the unpowered one by a regular rail. And underneath the powered one we're gonna have a observer block upside down. So replace this guy here, and now you can place a solid block here for the maximum range, a sticky piston, then torch, and then a redstone dust here, and a torch there. So we have more powered rails here, and this is not going to shorten the signal, so it acts as a repeater, and you can have this going in multiple directions if you want. Okay, so I guess we arrived at the most important part of this tutorial, where we're going to build the actual station controller. So you're gonna want to find where you want to branch, and you're gonna have a structure like this: powered rail, curved rail, and powered rail. So yeah, we want to break it before I go to this curve here, and have a detector facing upside down, and then you can replace this guy here. And now to the orange circuit. So this guy is going to have a torch on top of connected to it. So as you can see, it will control where this rail is going to be connected to. So now redstone dust and a repeater, because otherwise these guys will be connected. This should be on one tick, and then sticky piston here, and there should be an air gap between the sticky piston and the actual block. Now we need two hoppers, and they need to face each other, so you just need to hold shift to make this. And here in the middle we also need a torch, and this torch is going to be powered by this piece of redstone dust. Okay, so we can read the output using a comparator here, and we also need redstone dust on top here. This is very important. And now we place our fern right here where you have the redstone block on top. And finally we just power this guy like this, and there we have our first station. Okay, and maybe we can test this. And okay, I actually forgot something here. So yeah, this was a mistake. So place a solid block here, otherwise this signal will never fire. Okay, so we need to test this now. So if we hit the first station, it changed direction. If we hit it again, it shouldn't change anything. And if we hit anything else, it should reset. So this is working properly. Okay, so now let's build a second station right next to it. just so I can show you some things. Okay, I could build this station mirrored here, but I will build in the same direction just because I want to point out a few things. So first of all, you will need to find where you want to branch, and this is the exact block where you need an observer block. So let me just copy this from here. So break this, observer facing down, and replace this. So let's now quickly rebuild the orange circuit, because now you guys already know how to do it. So redstone torch here to power this rail, and another one to power the other section. And now sticky piston. Now time for the hoppers, and don't forget this block here. This is very important. This piece of redstone dust is basically what does everything. And redstone dust here. Don't forget to place the fern inside the hopper. And now a comparator to read it, and redstone dust. And remember what I just said, if you need this torch to be off by default, you can just use the trick that I showed you before. And okay, this should be working already, so let's test it. It's pointing forward now. So if we select it, it's now pointing towards this station, which is what is expected. Okay, now last and least, actually, we need to take care of the departure thing here. So what we want to do is to force this guy to change like this. And to do that, we will just power this guy here. So locate your detector rail, and you can just use a redstone torch to invert the signal, so this is off by default. So if we place a minecart here and power it, it will have the rail turning on the correct direction. Okay, so let's do the same for this other station here, because this is going to be a little bit different. Since this station is not mirrored, we don't need to send a signal underneath the floor here, so we can just connect this directly using a repeater. So just locate once again your detector rail and power this thing using a repeater directly. So if we do it now, it will turn, but it was already in this position. We can also make all these stations work automatically, just so we can test things out. So let's send this guy all the way to the last station. Then it's going to return, and yeah, the rails are behaving just like they're supposed to. Okay, so now let's test our first station, and it works fine. And now let's test the second station, and it works fine, and we have already tested the other one. So yeah guys, this is really simple to do. It would be pointless if the repeaters weren't that easy to do. Yeah, this design took me a long time to figure out and make everything work and make it really simple to build, like you just saw. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, because I had actually a lot of fun designing this thing, and this is probably what I will use in my survival let's play series. So yeah, leave your comments and opinions in the comments section, and a like if you liked the video. And finally, thank you very much for watching guys. See you next time. Bye.